Information just coming in. Let's break it for our viewers about the alliance between Chandrababu Naidu's TDP and BJP in Andhra Pradesh. Remember, this alliance was announced only a few days back, but information just flashing right now. The TDP-BJP alliance seems to have hit a roadblock. According to the information that our reporter is flashing from the ground, the TDP is upset with the BJP selection of candidates. Remember, Andhra is going to polls. There are assembly elections as well as the Lok Sabha elections there. The TDP has now set a deadline till the 19th of this month for the BJP to sort out the issues of candidates. The TDP says the candidates that have been pitted by the BJP are weak candidates. They are not the ones who can win the seats. They want the BJP to change these candidates. So the alliance, which had been rocky from day one, considering the internal resistance that was shown by the TDP workers in Andhra Pradesh, it seems to have hit a rough patch right now. The TDP-BJP alliance seems to be on a shaky ground.
Also with us to throw some light on these developments. Mr. Rao, clearly this TDP-BJP alliance has been on a shaky wicket right from the word go. From the various statements that were made by Chandrababu Naidu initially to then cozying up to Narendra Modi, which has been contrary to the stand that he's taken in the past. And now he seems to be unhappy. Where do you see this going?
I think these are teething troubles, and you see, the selection of candidates for the seats given to the BJP is, I think, the BJP's prerogative. So the BJP has fielded the best candidates that the party has, and in fact the BJP has chosen many constituencies where they have actually strong candidates. So I think these are teething troubles, and I don't see any possibility of any breakup of the alliance. In any case, in Telangana portion of Andhra Pradesh, I think there is already, nominations have already been filed and campaigning is on, and the alliance is very much intact there. But as far as Seemandhra is concerned, there are a lot of cadres of Telugu Desam party who wanted to fight on every single seat, and this happens when you have a alliance with a local regional strong party. There would be a lot of disturbances at the ground level. So I think this is the time for us to put all these issues on the back burner and then throw ourselves headlong into this campaign. And I'm sure once Mr. Narendra Modi's campaign schedule is drawn up, and the kind of popularity he enjoys all over the state, not just in Telangana part, but all over the state, I think it's going to be a major asset for the alliance. So I think it's a matter of maybe a couple of hours or so, but I think it will be back on track.
Okay, interesting. You're quick to defend the party, but T.S. Sudhir is also joining us. T.S., we've been talking to you about Bangalore and Karnataka, but at this time, breaking news coming in about Chandrababu Naidu not being very happy with the kind of candidates that the BJP is putting up. Now, GVL Narasimha Rao says that these are just teething problems. Do you see more to this anger shown by Chandrababu Naidu, or is he just cramming for more candidates on his side?
Well, GVL Narasimha Rao's optimism is a bit misplaced, because I have been speaking to my sources both in the TDP as well as in the state BJP. The TDP extremely miffed with the choice of candidates put up by the BJP in at least half a dozen constituencies, and here we are talking of Seemandhra, we are not talking of Telangana. These constituencies are Tadepalligudam, Ichapuram, Guntakal, Kadapa, Sotananulapadu and Kodamaru in Kurnool district, where the TDP says the BJP's candidates are extremely weak. They put up a huge minus, and that will affect the chances of the MP candidates, and that's what TDP is more concerned about, that if it actually results in a reduced harvest of seats as far as the MP candidates are concerned, that will affect TDP's position as far as New Delhi is concerned, and it wants the BJP to change its candidates sometime today. And to that effect, Chandrababu Naidu is likely to talk to both Narendra Modi as well as Rajnath Singh to persuade them to change its candidates. Otherwise, the TDP has made up its mind that it will put up its own candidates. When I asked my sources in the TDP, wouldn't it jeopardize the entire alliance? They said they are prepared for something like that, because if they lose more MP seats, that will actually affect them much more. So they are looking at even a post-poll kind of an understanding with the BJP if this pre-poll understanding actually fails. But having said that, the TDP does want to go into an an alliance with Narendra Modi's BJP because they see it as having traction in the Seemandhra region. But of course, there are these kind of problems which have come up because of the selection of candidates. Of course, on the other part, the RSS and the BJP state leaders have told Chandrababu Naidu and the TDP that it is none of his business to interfere in their selection of candidates. So essentially, a lot of discomfort taking place in the BJP-TDP alliance on the ground level in the Seemandhra region.
And TS, I want to come back. You were talking about how your sources are saying that the TDP is clearly very upset. Now remember, as far as this region is concerned, the Congress and the BJP really don't have any stake. The Congress, especially after, what has happened in Telangana and the kind of, with Jagan Mohan Reddy also moving away, clearly doesn't have a stake. For viewers in the rest of the country, explain the significance of what Chandrababu Naidu does to the BJP and also to the Congress party.
Well, the Telugu Desam clearly concedes the fact that having been out of power for 10 years, it is very important for it to actually come to power in the Seemandhra, the new state of Andhra Pradesh, as well as have a say in the power matrix in New Delhi, to which effect this alliance with BJP seemed to be working well, even though the BJP, by virtue of having supported the Telangana bill, was seen as some kind of a liability in these 25 Lok Sabha and 175 assembly constituencies in the residuary state of Andhra Pradesh. But Chandrababu Naidu believed that the Modi-Naidu or the Namo factor, which the TDP talks about as Naidu-Modi factor, will actually work to the alliance advantage in the Seemandhra region and would actually be able to push Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP, at least give it a good fight. But having said that, they feel that the BJP, which does not have a very strong base in the Seemandhra region, has actually put up candidates who are not very strong, and because in that assembly segment they will pull down the number of votes polled, it will actually affect the chances of the MP candidate which have been put up by the Telugu Desam, and they feel that this is going to reduce the TDP tally in the Lok Sabha, and that is something which Chandrababu Naidu is not too happy about. And also the fact that on the ground level, both in Telangana as well as in Seemandhra, the alliance is not working too well because both parties are extremely suspicious of each other. Both parties not very happy with each other in the manner in which the entire alliance talks took place. Extreme hard posturing, hard bargaining taking place between the TDP and the BJP. So in that sense, the alliance is not taking place, working very well on the ground. The campaigning that is taking place in Telangana is actually taking place independently. The BJP candidates are not taking the TDP candidates along with them, and vice versa. So that effect, TDP actually taking a hard line on this, asking the BJP to specifically change its candidates, at least in this half a dozen constituencies. What kind of a reaction the BJP leadership will take is going to be extremely significant, because here in Andhra Pradesh, both the RSS and the state BJP leadership have told TDP to mind its own business. In that sense, today's decision by Modi and Rajnath Singh will be very significant, and should the TDP actually put up its own candidates, that will definitely jeopardize the entire alliance.